Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. With Manchester United apparently now front runners for yet another left-sided centre-back, I wanted to take a tactical look at what transfers Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs this summer to improve Manchester United and make us better. We can all shout out players, but tactically, what are the players that are going to help United get better? Now, look, let's start off with Jadon Sancho. You can see that, let's just move the ball there because that's where we're going. But no, let's move the ball here because that's where we're talking. So Jadon Sancho, what is the importance of Jadon Sancho? World-class player, but definitely needed. Many people say, well, what happens to Greenwood or Rashford if we buy Jadon Sancho? You know what happens? They go to the bench. Because what happens if you take Greenwood off at the moment? You bring Dan James on. Not good enough, right? You bring Agallo on, maybe for, you know, Agallo's a forward. So Manchester United needs squad depth. Now, whether Rashford has to go to the bench, whether Sancho goes to the bench, or whether Greenwood or Martial goes to the bench, I really don't care. What we're trying to do here is build a team. And Manchester United don't buy bench players. I heard somebody say this the other day. Well, we need to buy some better bench players. You don't buy bench players. You buy the best players you can, and then your bench gets stronger. Because if you buy Sancho and you've got to bench Greenwood or Rashford, then Greenwood or Rashford go on your bench, and your bench is better because you've got first-team players dropping onto the bench. The problem with United at the moment is our bench players aren't good enough for the first team, so the drop-off is off a cliff when we take them off. Whereas if you buy players that are getting a battle for a first-team spot, someone's got to go on the bench, your bench gets better. So Jadon Sancho, absolutely essential, as we know. But let me take the ball back here for a moment. Now, Manchester United and many teams, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did this at Molde. What he wants to happen when De Gea gets the ball is he wants his centre-backs and his full-backs to split. And at the moment in time, Harry Maguire is a right footer. When Harry Maguire gets the ball, Harry Maguire receives the ball, right foot is here, he can go backwards, he can go there, he can go there. Now he's starting to get uncomfortable off his right foot. If he's trying to hit it down the line, he can't hit it down the line because if he's on the right hand side, he can play it right down the line with his right foot. If he wants to do it from this side, he can hit it down the line, but because he's right footed, it's a very open pass. You're almost going to twist your knee to do it, and it's probably heading more in this direction. Whereas Luke Shaw gets the ball on his left foot, he can curl it down the line, he can whack it down the line. Perfect balance because he's left-footed. Now, what we've seen at United recently is Luke Shaw injured, so Luke Shaw becomes Brandon Williams, who's here on the bench. So Brandon Williams, if we just bring him on for a minute, who has been tucking in a bit more, Brandon Williams is another right footer. So Brandon Williams gets the ball here. He can use his left, but he's very right-footed. He's playing it in, he's like Harry Maguire again, he's playing it in, he's comfortable. Now he's starting to get uncomfortable because he's got to use his left to hit it down the line. He's got to use his left to hit it into Rashford and bomb on. If he's using his right, it's going like this, or if he tries and hits it down the line, he's got to outside foot it to bend it, which is difficult, or he's putting it towards the touchline, which is not comfortable for Rashford. So look, we have struggled with that. It's not Brandon Williams' fault. It's not Harry Maguire's fault, but they are right-footed players playing on the left side, which is why it's absolutely essential that Manchester United are and do need a left-sided centre-back. Now look, Benoit Badiashile, you're probably wanting to know about that. Le 10 Sport are saying that United are now leading the race for that. They're the front runners in a fight with Leverkusen. We've been linked to Gabriel, another left-sided centre-back playing in the French league. But the point is, look, Benoit Badiashile, he's 19, 6'4", quick, left-footed, looks promising. Yeah, I like him. Gabriel, I like the sound of him. I've not seen lots of them, but I like the sound of them because tactically, and that's what we're looking at, that's what we need. A left-sided centre-back who's comfortable and bringing balance to this side of the pitch, which we've lost. And we've lost our width since Luke Shaw got injured. We've massively missed Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's energy getting forward and backwards. Look, if Rashford's here, ball goes in from Luke Shaw. He knows Luke Shaw's going to go there, but he also knows Luke Shaw's good enough defensively down that left-hand side that Marcus Rashford hasn't got to wander too deep. At the moment, Rashford's not getting people bombing on past him to provide him with space, but he's also having to play deeper to cover a young left-back, which is Brandon Williams, and that's not Brandon Williams' fault. So we've lost that. But we've also lost his Wan-Bissaka's form. So we're not getting width at the moment. And we're not getting width because we're not balanced on the left-hand side either. So we need a left-footed centre-back, very important. Because if Luke Shaw is injured and you're playing a right-footed left-back in Brandon Williams, at least you've still got a left-footed centre-back to provide a little bit of balance, which we've lost completely at the moment. So very important from a tactical transfers point of view that we do get a left-sided centre-back because they split. Lindelof needs to be a bit here. They're going to split, and if you've got four right-footed players in your back four, you've got no balance. You can't do that if you want to be a top 2 side in the world, in England, sorry. So that's very important. This position is very important for Manchester United, and again, I go to the bench and I look at Scott McTominay and Fred. Are they good enough? Are they good enough to do this role here? I don't know. But we're not going to be buying anybody, so they're very important this season because 3 key players for United are Pogba and Bruno and Matic, as we know. So let's pull these down a little bit for a moment, just to show you something here. Because the midfield, we've spoken about Sancho, very important. In the midfield, you've got Paul Pogba, right? In fact, let me just demonstrate something for a minute. Let's take Bruno over here for a minute. So, a little bit this week, some Manchester United fans have been criticising Bruno. He's not that important. Anybody could have done that role. Lingard could have done that role. Well, this was Manchester United without Bruno Fernandes till the end of January. From a tactical point of view, the mint with a hole. You've got fullbacks, Matic, Pogba, although he wasn't fit, but you know what I mean, playing that role. Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood, Martial and Rashford, right? Now, when Bruno's here at the moment, this is what Bruno Fernandes brings to Manchester United. The ball from Matic to Bruno. The ball from Pogba to Bruno. The ball from Shaw, the one from Wan-Bissaka, from Rashford, Martial and Greenwood. He is the player that has made all these players around him better because he wants the ball all the time. Yeah, he gives the ball away a little bit, but he can play the ball all over the place. He always wants the ball. He can score goals, as we've seen before. He is the number 10 that we didn't have. Whether it was Pereira or Mata or Lingard, that was a hole. There was nothing going on there. And that starved Martial and Rashford for 6 months. They did quite well, but the ball wasn't getting there. Matic was a sideways passer. You know, that's all he had. He couldn't play the forward pass, really, because Bruno wasn't there. And Lingard and Mata and Pereira didn't live up to the task. And Pogba, although he didn't play... Well, look, Pogba... Let's put Bruno back in. Pogba wants to give the ball in here, but Pogba can do things that not many other players can do. He can hit that 40-yard pass here and here. And that's great what Pogba's done. And Pogba can do that. But what Manchester United need from a tactical transfers point of view is you need to be able to maintain what Bruno and Pogba and Fred are. Bruno and Pogba and Matic are. Well, we haven't got cover for Matic, but we haven't got Pogba. We've got no cover for Pogba and Bruno at all. And that's where the third tactical transfer is very important. United need a player that can do both of these roles. Because if Bruno gets injured or tired, you go back to a mint with a hole. If Pogba gets injured or tired, you're using Fred and McTominay, who, to be honest, they're not the player who can hit the 50-yard pass. And have they really got the creativity either? So United desperately need a player to come into that position. And whether it's Jack Grealish or whether it's Van der Beek, that is the third tactical transfer that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs. Because what we need is a player like a Grealish or a Van der Beek that can play the attacking midfield role, but can also play the box-to-box role, which is why United should be looking at that sort of player. Now, of course, that player, again, and look, let's have a look at the bench situation. If you buy Sancho, then Grealish or Rashford probably goes on the bench. Squad depth, bench depth, quality on the bench. If you buy a Van der Beek or a Grealish, maybe they go on the bench as well, but it's options off the bench. So if Bruno or Pogba have to come off, you bring Van der Beek or Grealish on. And it's the same with Greenwood and Rashford, isn't it? You take you take Sancho off, one of those comes on. That is what Manchester United need to do this transfer window. It's not a surprise to me that we're looking at Sancho. It's not a surprise that we're looking at a left-sided centre-back. And it's not a surprise that we're looking at a centre-attacking midfielder. Ideally, I'd like us to be looking at a striker and a CDM. Because as you can see, look at that bench. Romero, Brandon Williams, Eric Bailly, Fred, McTominay, Dan James, Agallo. That's our bench. So maybe Lingard could be on there. You know, maybe Delo could be on there. Maybe you'd change the bench a little bit. But the problem with that bench is none of those players, for me, make that first team any better. So what you need is a bench that's going to have players on it. Look what Bayern Munich did. You know, quality on your bench. Manchester United don't have a quality bench. That is why if you buy Sancho, you've got to drop someone from the first team to give more quality to the bench. If you buy Grealish or Van der Beek, that's 2 players. And this is for me, like what James Cooper said yesterday, this is for me why Manchester United won't be winning the title next season. Because I think we've got a very good first 11 that can beat anybody, but we don't have squad bench depth. It's bench depth, not squad depth. It's bench quality. That's what we don't have. And I don't think we'll have that this summer. But we might be able to get 2 quality players on that bench. A centre-attacking midfielder who can play box-to-box to cover Pogba and Bruno. And whoever drops out of the team for Sancho coming in. And suddenly you've got 2 real quality players on your bench that you can. You're not dropping off a cliff when you take a player off, which is what we've seen over the last few weeks. And it's going to take United next summer to maybe get 2 more players on the bench. And then next season, you look at your bench and you've got 4 or 5 first team quality players on your bench. And that's what United need to do. And that's why these tactical transfers are very important. As I said, I think a CDM's still important. I think maybe a left back's important, a left-footed left back, because of that balance that we need. And certainly a forward. But for this summer, if we can get the left-sided centre-back, the centre attacking midfielder who can cover Pogba and Bruno and Sancho, that would be a very good transfer window for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Anything more than that probably isn't going to happen and probably is a little bit greedy in this market. But those 3 will massively improve United for this season. Get your comments in below. Let me know what you think. Smash a like on the video. Big shout out for Drawty for the studio as well. I want to use this a lot more. He's designed it for me. We've thought it through. We like it. It's going to allow us to show things tactically, goals, everything like that. But today I just wanted to do a tactical transfers show. And let's see what happens with Benmar Badashil. I don't know what your thoughts are on him, but the left-sided centre-back is so important. We've got 5 right-footers playing in our back 4 at the moment, and we wonder why we've got no balance and Marcus Rashford's struggling on the left-hand side. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.